Alright, well, we've got it rough sanded enough that we're going to prime it, and we'll put 2 good coats of primer onto it, and then we'll get ready to sand that down. That's the other thing about this kind of paint, is that you got to wait for the primer to dry. It's not going to dry like a lacquer primer or an acrylic primer, where you can spray it and 10 minutes later you can sand it, or less. This is going to have to set. This has got to set, yeah, probably until this afternoon, or maybe even till tomorrow morning. So we'll let it go, and then we'll get it sanded down and prepped, and I know it's got to set 24 hours. The primer has to set 24 hours before you can put a finish coat on it. So we'll get this prepped, we'll get it primed, and we'll go from there. Alright, well, we got it primed. We got 2 pretty heavy coats of primer onto it. That's we want to get good heavy coverage without it running, obviously, to we use it as a filler coat as well as primer. I mean, so when we sand it down, it'll we don't sand through the primer, so it'll give us a good base for our top coat. All right, so now we got to let it set, and we'll go from there. All right, well, we got it primed. Did all the body work that we have to do to it. Now comes the wet sanding. What we need to do now is wet sand this so it's smooth, and that's got to be done by hand. And I'm not going to show you the exact all of the wet sanding that I'm going to be doing, because it takes a long time. And but I'll show you how we do it, and at that point you just wet things down and start sanding. Being very careful with the edges. And corners that you don't go through. We'll do this a couple times. Until it's nice and smooth. Some of this will have to be done literally by hand. I'll just have paper with me in my hand and without the block. This is one of the time-consuming Right now I'm using 400 grit. For my first pass. Then I'll switch to 600. And we're going to call that good enough once I get the 600 done. For this job, this will be good enough. Obviously, if I go through I'll have to reprime and then resand that spot. But this is what's going to give you a good finish. What's underneath your paint is what you're going to see on top of the paint. Some people might skip this step. You're going to run into a lot of orange peel. I've seen people skip this step and then they'll say, oh, the paint was junk. Well, you skipped the step. Job is only going to be as good as the effort that you put into it. And as I stand here, I can hear it, and I can feel it getting smoother. So I'll do a little spot here on the hood, and you'll see if you can hear the difference. I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick it up. Sounds rough. And then you'll see it smooths right out. This is one reason why I put a relatively heavy coat of primer on, because I like to do this and make the finish as smooth as I can. Alright, like I say, I'm not going to bore you. This is just very time consuming, and there's no reason for you to need to watch me do this whole nose. What we're going to do is we're going to do this truck in sections, because like I say, I have to drive the truck. I don't have a lot of vehicles around that I can drive that are in this configuration. So we need pickup trucks for doing different things. So at some point, I guess I'm going to have to lay it up, but we're going to do the nose. I'll actually paint the nose. I can do this. It's split totally from the other truck with the body lines. Then when I get ready to do, I'll do some, another section, and I'll just keep moving and doing sections until it's done. All right. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this series as we go along, we'll pass on some more tips and how we mix paint and that type of thing, and how we spray it. I'll do a little bit of that. But if you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss any of the series or some of the other projects that I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. It's going to help me out and help others out to get out there, get the video out there, and get the channel out there to maybe inspire somebody else to do a job. And we'll catch you later.